Okay, so Vicky, I've got a couple of questions for you. I just wanted to see what you think about these. Okay, so how have I supported staff to increase their knowledge through, say, PLC or staff meetings?
Well, over the past 5 years, you have started by developing the mathematical language school-wide of the staff and creating consistent maths planners from foundation to grade 6. I think as well that you've ensured that there was a clear structure to the mathematics teaching across the whole school. Um, One element which came across consistent for all the staff has been the teacher focus groups that have been based on data. A few years back, teachers were taking groups, but not necessarily based on the data, and more based on teacher judgment, um, or for those who struggle with independent activities. Now that we have more focus on data, we use pre and post assessments and tracking sheets that you've created to track student progress. And we found that this is a lot more meaningful for the learners. Um, and to also refer to those focus group notes and the data wall and the assessments to allow more conversations about the learners and where to next.
So, can you give maybe like an example of how like it might have helped maybe your team or even yourself to like maybe through the way I might have shared strategies with you guys?
Well, a big one that you've implemented is the LFIN testing. You've told us to bring the assessments to PLC, and we've had a look at numeral identification at the moment. You showed us a research paper on common misunderstandings learners have with numeral ID, and I found that was really good because then we went through how to fix these misunderstandings through things like place value houses and even arrow cards. This made me and my whole team feel confident about how we can best tackle the learning in our space.
Was there any like ways, say, like ICT might be able to implement that in our spaces?
MFAX 121 was probably the best program that you've implemented. It helps support our learners who are often not engaged to be more open and engaged with learning maths.
And is there anything else that MFAX does, say, for those maybe disengaged kids, or even those engaged kids? Is it a bit broader than that?
Well, a great element is that you can actually encourage parent participation on top of that as well. So there's that engagement with the wider community.
Oh, fantastic. And when we go and we're at planning and or PLC, even staff meetings possibly, how do we go, or how do I go about maybe supporting you guys with evaluating whether we've been successful or not?
So you've facilitated maths planning, and that's great because we get an opportunity to sit with you and evaluate what we've taught and how it's gone. So we reflect on what has worked over the past week, and we talk about where to next and what the students have been doing to ensure that all the lessons are engaging and differentiated to meet all the students' needs.
And are there any ways that, like, say, we always be working as a school on visible learning over the last little bit, how we can sort of increase that part?
Well, the visible learning element, you've shown us how we can incorporate little things like goal setting. So last year we did our pre-assessment for time, and you suggested that we sit with each child and come up with a goal for the unit. I found that taking this time to sit with the learner showed them that we cared, and the post-test results showed a difference.
Okay, that's great. And how do you feel about reporting now compared to, say, like a few years ago when when I first started at the school anyway?
Well, compared to 5 years ago, I feel a lot more confident with just reporting and assessing children in general, according to the Victorian curriculum. This is probably due to you helping us improve in our practice and our knowledge through pre and post assessments and moderation pieces. Moderation pieces that you've created have helped us to allow for consistent assessment and conversations all across the school. Now staff know that they can come to you, I suppose, if they're unsure, and we can have those conversations about where to place a child on their report. So it's really great that you sit with them and talk. You sit with them and us.
Yeah, for sure. And when we had those conversations, have there been any that like we might have had that you might have a child, say, you're in grade 1 at the moment, that been able to look at maybe both ends of the spectrum?
Yeah, definitely. So especially in the year 1 space at the moment, we've had a lot of conversations with you about ABLES and the ABLES reporting to support those learners with disabilities. And we also look at the other end of the spectrum with those, those learners who need to be pushed beyond, into the next range of the curriculum as well for high achieving. So, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, thanks for that.